buying residential or commercial property in a trust. What is an inter vivos trust and how is it set up? Normally, an inter vivos trust is set up by use of a trust deed. It is a separate legal entity altogether. Now, as far as a trust is concerned, it is normally set up in a family situation where you have the father, the mother together with children. So they become part of the beneficiaries of the inter vivos trust. And you would find that the person who normally would set it up is the father, so he becomes the donor. And they would then appoint trustees who would then be managing the trust on behalf of the beneficiaries, which is the family. Now, it is possible for the father to be the donor, to be a trustee, as well as be a beneficiary. So he can be all three of them. Certainly, he would be what we call a discretionary beneficiary. So in other words, all the beneficiaries don't have a vested right, but they have a right to income and capital of that particular trust. So that is how a trust is actually set up. And it is possible to buy property in that name of that particular trust, and it will operate independently. There are several benefits of actually setting up a trust. Primarily, one of the benefits that apply are the tax benefits. Certainly, it is possible from an income tax point of view to split the income that is derived in the name of the trust amongst the beneficiaries of the trust. So it is possible to distribute that income amongst the beneficiaries, which could be all the children in the family. And the children could be 1-year-old, 10-year-old, 20-year-old, 40-year-old. It could even be the father and the mother who could also get a distribution of income. But by distributing income to the children, you're going to pay tax at a much lower rate. Because in South Africa, we have a progressive tax system. The lower the income, the lower the rate of tax that will apply. Also, upon the death of the father, because the property is already in the trust, it doesn't belong to him. So it will not form part of his estate. So there's no estate duty to pay. There's no capital gains tax to pay. You don't have to transfer the property out. So certainly all of those costs, in fact, are actually saved. And therefore, there are certainly huge tax benefits in creating an inter vivos trust and buying property in the name of the trust. The other benefits that apply, certainly there's a protection of the assets in a trust from creditors if, for example, you become insolvent. Minor beneficiaries are those who are under the age of 18. Their interest is protected in a trust. A trust has an indefinite life and may continue for generations, so the assets could lie in the trust forever. Having outlined the benefits of a trust, there are certain stumbling blocks, so to speak, and just to cover those, certainly both the Master of the High Court and the South African Revenue Service have introduced a lot of red tape in the setup and administration of trust. This was obvious because there are all these benefits that apply to trusts. So therefore, certainly from a government point of view, SARS was losing a lot of tax revenue, and hence they have introduced a lot of legislation to try and make sure that you pay your fair tax. Further, loans made to a trust may attract some tax for connected persons making such loans. Also, an independent trustee must be appointed. But overall, I think one needs to look at the benefits and weigh it against the stumbling blocks. Certainly, there are some very serious benefits in acquiring property in the name of the trust. I think it's also important that you seek legal, financial, and tax advice before you acquire property, before you set up a trust and acquire property in the name of the trust. You can certainly speak to Garage Corporation, who are specialists in this aspect. Garage Corporation is a financial and fiduciary advisory practice with specialists which include chartered accountants, legal advisors, certified financial planners, tax consultants. They certainly give you good guidance in respect of specialist areas like tax, insurance, investments, wills, trusts, deceased estates, and accounting. So all of these professionals are under one roof who will guide you through this process. We have offices both in Durban as well as in Johannesburg. The group comprises entities which are registered as authorized financial services providers. Certainly, our email address and our web address is indicated here, and you could contact us in respect of any specialist advice you require.